Hi everybody, welcome back. In this video we're going to be doing 6 more examples of standard normal distribution problems. For one thing, because more examples is good, but mostly what I want to do here is jumble up the order of the problems and then talk about how do you know which Excel function to use and how to use it based on what you see in the problem. Okay, so we've learned now how to do each problem type, and now we're going to talk about how to distinguish the problem types from each other. So we've done 2 main problem types here. One where they're asking you to find a probability. Okay, those look like find P of, and then they'll give you some interval. For those, you're going to use norm S dist, and then you're going to tell it the value of Z that bounds the value of Z for which you want the lower probability, the area to the left. And then don't forget you have to put in your true for cumulative. And that's just always going to be true. Don't worry about that. Just always put true. The other ones are what we called inverse probabilities. Those are ones where they say find the value of Z with whatever percent to the left, right, or between. Okay? And I'll just put to the left, right, between. Okay? And for those, you're using norm.s.inv, and then you're telling it the area to the left of Z. Okay, always to the left. Within those, there was less than, greater than, and between, or to the left, to the right, and between. And I hope we've been clear about how to do that. But the hardest part for a lot of people is just figuring out which of these formulas do I use. Okay, but once you look at it this way, it should be pretty clear. So for these that you're looking at, the ones that's asking you for a probability, that's going to be number 2, number 3, and number 5. So on 2, 3, and 5, you're going to be using norm S dist. And then you have to figure out what's the area to the left and type it in there. For the rest of them, they're going to say find the value of Z with this probability. So these are the norm S INV ones. So find the value of Z. This is going to be a norm S INV problem. Same thing with this one, and same thing with this one. So 1, 4, and 6 are norm S INV problems, right? So let's look at this first one. And we're going to sketch all of them. So the value of Z with 21% of the area to the right. So here we've got that area there is going to be 0.21. And we already said we're going to be doing norm.s.inv And we have to tell it how much is to the left. So if 21% is to the right, that means 1 minus 0.21, which should be 0.79, is to the left. So norm SINV .79 is 0.8064. Okay. If you ever wanted to check your work, you could find the probability that Z is greater than 0.8064, and that should give you 21%. You don't have to, but. All right, so that's the first one. The second one, we are finding the probability. So of course that's going to be norm S dist negative 1.1. So I'm going to go ahead and sketch. These sketches don't have to be great. You can see the ones I'm doing are kind of lame, but they're good enough that you can get a sense of what's going on. So negative 1.1 is right about here, and 2.9 is just below 3. And we want the area in between them. So to do that, we're going to do norm S dist of the bigger one minus norm S dist, and don't forget your comma true, of the smaller one. And when we do that, just to kind of give you an idea, let's see how good this looks when I do this. Norm S dist 2.9 is going to be this whole area to the left of 2.9. So it's all of this to the left of 2.9. When I subtract out norm S dist of negative 1.1, I am subtracting out everything to the left of negative 1.1. So I'm subtracting out this whole area here, so that what I'm left with is the area in between. So norm S dist 2.9 minus norm S dist negative 1.1. And of course I forgot my comma true. And we get 0.8624. Okay. This first one, by the way, was the value of Z with 0.21 to the right. And this one was the probability that Z was between negative 1.1 and 2.9. All right, the third problem. probability z less than 3. So if we sketch 0, 1, 2, 3, -1, -2, -3. The area to the left of 3 is going to be from here on out to the left. So we're looking for that area there, which is going to be norm S dist 3, because this is already to the left. They're already saying, to the left, so we don't have to do any kind of, tweaking or anything. And then, as always, true. At least that's supposed to say true. That looks like tenual. But that's supposed to be true. So probability z less than 3. And to get that, norm dot s dot dist 3 comma true. And that's 0.9987. All right, so that was the third one. Yep. OneNote has lost my numbering system. The fourth one, I love OneNote anyway though. They're asking us to find the two values of z, one negative and one positive, with 30% of the area between them. So this is going to be negative z, and this is going to be positive z. Well, we know if we've got 30% in the middle, that means we're going to have 0.7 outside the middle. And that means half is going to be on the left and half is going to be on the right. So half of 0.7 is 0.35 on each side. So we're going to have 0.35 here, 0.35 there. And if we look up this lower one, we'll get the upper one as well. So we're just going to look up the 0.35 one. So that's going to give us INV norm. I keep wanting to do INV norm because this is called something different on each computer program, and I teach I think 4 different versions of this class with different software, so bear with me on that. Norm.s.inv 0.35. That gives us the lower one. So our answers are going to be the negative one and the positive one. And these are the values of z with 30% between them. Remember, you got to give me both. I would settle for just the positive one though. If you just picked one, just give me the positive one. But I'd rather have both. I'm not sure what the back of your book asks for, but so your answer's there. I should write them down over here. Negative 0.3853. And positive 0.3853. All right, number 4, looking for the probability that z is greater than negative 2.2. This is another, or this is a probability one. So there's 0, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. So negative 2.2 is going to be right about there. And we're looking for the area to the right, because this is greater than. So when we're looking for a normal probability, it's going to be norm S dist. And we want the area to the right, but if we give it negative 2.2, it's going to give us the area to the left, so we have to do 1 minus. And don't forget your comma true. So norm.s.dist. And I have forgotten what value we were looking for. Negative 2.2. And of course I forgot the comma true. I did that on purpose to remind you to do it. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. So here, this is saying find the probability that z is greater than negative 2.2. One more. The value of z with 78% of the area to the left. So 78% of the area to the left is going to be more than half. So that looks like it's about 3/4 to me. So 0.78 to the left. Here this is already to the left, so we don't have to do anything. We can just do norm.s.inv of 0.78. And that'll give us our answer. So this is the value of z with 0.78 to the left. So 0.7721. All right, so I hope that helps with some of these. I should write this answer on there before we go. That answer was 0.9861. And so that's it for this section. I really hope that you'll make sure you know this material before we move on. And And so if you have any questions at all, please let me know. I'm happy to work with you. All right, see you later.